This is the brand new, fresh, hot off the press, balanced manifesto, huh? So we have balanced manifesto for ascendancies, glancing blows, divine flesh, enduring cry, ball lightning, spell slinger, redemption sentries. Wow. Wait. Holy crap. Okay. Reduce visibility, stealth, projectile changes. This is gonna be the split fork pierce thing. Mods that provide flat life generation. Mod tag system. Okay. Holy crap. Okay. All right. All right. That's those are some heavy hitters at the very top of the list, aren't they? Good lord. Okay, here goes. Here goes. As with every league, we're making some changes to a few key mechanics that outclass the alternatives. As we mentioned here, and here, we're introducing some stuff. Here we go. Ascendancies. We've lowered the offering effect and the necromancer's mistress of sacrifice on the ascendant back to its past value of 50%. Good. We've also lowered the critical strike chance, the crit multi on deadly infusion from assassin, and the crit multi on the assassin's small passives. These two passives were making these two classes, so these two passives were making these two classes too generically powerful for too many builds. Done. Good. I like it. Yeah, this is a really good change. Or rather, I support it. And like, you're still gonna play these, right? If nothing else gets changed, you're still gonna play these classes. Glancing blows. We've changed glancing blows to cause more damage to pass through on your block. You now take 65% of damage from blocked hits. Okay. The new keystone combined with effects that recover life or energy shield on block will provide too much survivability for too little investment. So in the past, you could take glancing blows even if you didn't have a shield that gave you life on block. Because it was still like double the block, half the damage, right? So like that still happens. Or like that used to happen. You could do that in the past. Now it's like you double the block, but you take 65% of the damage instead of 50% of the damage. So it's like, it's not as okay as it used to be unless you have a shield. If you still have a shield, or if you still have bone offering, you're still using this, right? You're still going to use glancing blows. I mean, it's absurdly strong. I still think you're doing it. Maybe we'll see some people that like go max block naturally instead of going glancing blows. But like, listen, glancing blows is insane. I don't think there's really much to say there. Divine Flesh. The keystone provided an extremely strong layer of elemental and chaos damage. Sorry, extremely strong layer of defense against those two things. Provided you can get enough chaos res. We've lowered the amount of maximum chaos res the keystone gives to +5, making investment into maximum chaos res more necessary to get the same defensive outcome. So in the past, it was 50% elemental damage taken as chaos damage, and then +10 to maximum chaos res, which is super strong. And now it's going to be +5 to maximum chaos res instead of +10. So instead of 75 chaos res, you're going to have 80 chaos res. How is that? It's a nerf, to be sure, but it still checks out. I still think that Divine Flesh is one of the single best players defense in the game. I guess we need to think about it some more, but I mean, it's still super, super strong. Not only that, the option that it gives you to do like physical damage taken as chaos damage, very strong. Is it still OP? How about that? How about that? Is it still OP? I mean, I'm still gonna try to shoehorn it into as many builds as possible. I think it's still like very strong. Is it OP? No. Is it mandatory? Yes. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, like 80. Listen, chat. 85 is way stronger than 80, right? Like we put like a little YouTube video about this too. If you want to see me talk about maximum resistances, there's something on the YouTube channel there. But like the TLDR is like every 1% additional maximum resistance that you have above 75%, each one additional percent is increasingly impactful. So like the difference between like 80 and 81 is not as big as the difference between 81 and 82, right? And like 85 resistance is like super high. I'm looking back on it, I'm kind of surprised that they ever did that. Like 85 is like bonkers. It's so high. 75, 80, 80, 84 Saffles. 83, so 87 Born. I mean 80, even just like the +3 from Born of Chaos or whatever you're talking about there in the small cluster jewel. Yeah. Or even just like getting a good Zibakwa Divine Flesh jewel that has like one of the corrupted passives in the AoE changed to like +1 maximum chaos res. Like it gives you a better way of scaling your defense, right? Game warpingly powerful. It's fucking strong, Kerned. Yeah, I think you're still gonna want to rely on Divine Flesh whenever you can. Like that's kind of the thing, right? For Glancing Blows and Divine Flesh here, like they were absurdly powerful layers of defense, and it's kind of busted that you can layer them on top of each other, right? In the past, like Glancing Blows was something that you could only get on a Timeless Jewel, and then Divine Flesh was only something you could get on a Timeless Jewel. So you had like pick which one you were going to use, but now you can use both of them, which is insane. It's like, well, even if they're going to make you take 15% more damage, even if they're going to like lower your maximum res by 5%, they're still some of the best things you can do, right? Like think about that. Yeah, Kernet. I wouldn't say much more worthless. I would phrase it a different way. But yeah, worth much less. A staff nerf. There you go. Yeah, I like that. It's a good nerf for staffs. Staves? Next, Enduring Cry. This war cry, combined with Call to Arms Keystone, let you left click your way to safety. We're increasing Enduring Cry's cooldown to 8 seconds, up from 6. I think most other war cries are already 8 seconds. Enduring Cry was the only one on 6. We're requiring at least one enemy to be in range to generate endurance charges in order to increase the importance of positioning and timing during gameplay. Yeah. If you this is basically no change, right? I guess you can't generate endurance charges using this at the beginning of an Azaro fight, and you can't use this to generate endurance charges before the beginning of a Cyrus fight. But if you want to like belt swap or weapon swap or shield swap, or boot swap or like anything swap in order to get endurance charges, you can. So if you're into generating charges before the beginning of a fight, you still can. You just need to use something else instead. I think for all intents and purposes, Enduring Cry is pretty much unchanged. It's a big nerf to my RF build that just barely had enough CDR to keep the regen at all times. Yes. Okay. Ball Lightning, let's see. Ball Lightning combined with slower projectiles outclassed everything else. So it's had its damage and its area lowered slightly. Okay. I guess we'll see what this word slightly means later on. That's fine. Spell Slinger, how about this one? This is look at these first couple things. These first couple things, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 8 of these are potentially extremely impactful. I'm like, this is a heavy hitter list of stuff here. All right, Spell Slinger. Triggering spells with Spell Slinger was faster, better, stronger, more than convenient. All right, good. It was good. It was gooder than other methods of casting spells while leveling. It now has a longer cooldown, but it gains more cooldown recovery as it levels, making it more rewarding to reach higher gem levels. The skill now starts with a mana reservation override of 30, scaling down to 25 and gem level 20. Cool. Okay, so worse early on, same later, right? I like this. I think this is a great change, honestly. Like if Spell Slinger's like busted OP for leveling, Well, they kind of tuned it down for leveling, and they kind of left it the same for later on. Yeah, nerf to leveling. Spellslinger was like at its best while leveling, and like it was at its worst relative to how strong it was during leveling when you get to like red maps, right? Spellslinger's like it like wasn't OP for like end game builds outside of some niche scenarios, right? So generally speaking, Spellslinger is going to be worse early on, better later. I think if you're someone who still wants to play Spellslinger, I think you're still playing Spellslinger. If you still want to level with Spellslinger, you're still going to do it, I guess. How about this? How about this? If you didn't want to level with Spellslinger, but you felt like you had to, all of a sudden you probably feel a little bit better about yourself. Again, it seems like with these first couple nerfs that we've read here, because I think every single one of these has been a nerf, right? With all these nerfs right here, it's like these things are so strong that by tuning them down slightly, you're like, well, it's still insane, so I'm still going to use it. And in my opinion, when you're talking about games like PoE or even like other things like Runeterra or like Magic the Gathering, like if you're talking about these games, when you nerf something and you tone down how strong it is, and people are still like, yeah, I still want to use it. It still has its identity. It's still really strong, and it still makes me want to play the game. That's a good nerf. I think everything that we've read so far has been a good nerf. I'm into it. Awesome. Spellslinger's dead. Nobody's gonna use. Okay, Redemption Sentry Specters. Let's see this. This monster variety had superior damage scaling and clear speed compared to most specters that had their damage and their life lowered. Okay. Is significant? Nah. It scales down to 25 later on. I wonder, how about this? How about this? If it starts with a mana reservation override of 30%, I wonder how this affects the Chaos Slinger leveling strategy. Right? So that's not something that I care about. But like for the people who do care about like going as fast as possible, the people who want to use like this Chaos Slinger thing, that if they like enjoyed this, right? I assume that the build is still intact. Maybe you could use like one less support gem somewhere. But yeah, specifically for that one niche leveling scenario, I wonder how much this affects it. Has anyone in chat played the Chaos Slinger leveling build before? How tight is your mana? There are other specters that work just fine. Honestly, Nini, if I were gonna play, don't say that, bro. If I were gonna play a specter build, I would just play the slave drivers. Like even though redemption sentries are like busted, I love my little slave driver boys. I think those guys are really cool. I don't really like specter builds. My opinion doesn't really matter, but like, listen, slave drivers are great. They're so good. It's like, why not you? Honestly, there's plenty of good options right now for specters. There's always somebody popping up with like, hey, this thing's pretty good too. Hey, this thing's pretty good too. But we're just gonna use the redemption sentries. Listen, when there are choices to make about what kind of specter you want, that's a good thing. If everybody's like, well, I want to use this cool specter over here that has this like neat stuff going on, but redemption sentry does everything better, that's bad. That's a bad thing. No, choices are good, Jed. Wasn't Spellslinger 20, not 25? It looks like it was, right? I guess we can look it up. Spellslinger PoE. Hit me, dealer. What do you got? Where is it? I don't see it. 20%. Okay, so it used to be 20%, and now it starts at 30, scales down to 25. Again, I wonder how much this impacts the chaos level. Yeah, you got it. Even a little tame. Yeah, Nini, I like these. I think it's weird reading so many nerfs and being like, yup, I like it. I'm on board. Good. Am I doing a disservice? Should I be yelling and screaming more, chat? GGG's bad decisions. Something PoE is going down the drain. All right, cluster jewels. We're gonna read this one next. We made a few numeric tweaks to specific cluster jewel notables that might have been providing too much power. This time, we're only lowering values on Precise Commander, which is crit chance, crit multi. I think so. You and nearby enemies crit chance. Vicious Bite, which is for minions, and Vengeful Commander, but we may be making further changes in the future. Control off mines. Nah, I'll get there. Pull a Quinn freak out? Nah, I'd rather. I don't, that's not me. That's not who I am. We're gonna look for what the damage values on this are and how much these things are being tweaked before we have much to say about them. Vengeful Commander is awesome. Precise Commander is okay. Vicious Bite. Worth noting that these are all minion things. You could use these on your own builds as well. Vicious Bite, you can't use this for yourself, but basically this is like this is potentially a high impact for summoner builds. Frankly, the summoner builds that I've seen recently have been like, I can deal 3 billion damage, so maybe it doesn't matter that these are getting nerfed. Vitality, Precision, and Clarity. I'm excited. Let's see about this. I feel like Vitality should be a 25% mana reservation, but we shall see. Vitality has always sucked. No, Vitality, what? Vitality has always had a value that seemed bad compared to the power of other auras and similar mana reservation, which meant that it's seen little use outside of enabling powerful Vitality-specific Watch's Eye modifiers. We've changed the skill to have a flat mana reservation and grant flat life regen instead of % life regen. It's now available at level 10. The attribute requirements are now consistent and requiring their primary attribute at 75% of the standard value requirements for the skill. That's awesome. That's really, really good. Even if nobody uses it, it's still really good. Like Vitality is like, it doesn't do anything by itself. Then the fact that they're willing to take something that's like kind of niche, pretty underused, people have been saying this for a long time, and finally do something about it, this is good. Better for RF. I mean, flat life regeneration is better if you have like low life, right? Is it better for RF leveling? Yeah, potentially. I wonder, right? Vitality for RF leveling. I wonder how much that helps. Various powerful Watch's Eye modifiers for the auras that reserve a flat amount of mana, so Vitality, Precision, and Clarity, have had their specific values lowered to match the investment required to use these auras. So currently, Precision and Clarity have insane Watch's Eye modifiers, and Vitality also has some pretty good ones. So they're going to lower the Watch's Eye mods that go along with these 3 auras here. At the same time, we've changed a small number of other specific Watch's Eye modifiers that are providing large bonuses for recovery rate. That would be things like, I think, Malevolence, Vitality, was there anything else? Malevolence, Vitality, Zealotry. I think it had something. Discipline. Yep. Cool. The Vitality change might make the replica series foible. Oh my god. This is cool. This is good. This is not a nerf. Like they're nerfing like the Watch's Eye modifiers of Clarity and Precision, but like frankly good. Those things are insane. But like they're making Vitality more usable. It's kind of like they're adding stuff in the game. Remember, when they tone down something, when they trim damage off of these things, it means that they're allowed to like add more power in a different place without just trivializing the whole game, right? Like PoE already has like just gazunga power everywhere, right? Like if you want to one-shot everything in the game, if you want to be super powerful, there's a lot of ways to do it. So when they trim off the top end of like trim a little bit of glancing blows, trim a little divine flesh, trim of this, trim of that, right? When you're trimming these things, it's like, okay, well, maybe we don't need, you know, 100% mana gained as extra energy shield on Clarity. maybe we could like trim a little bit and then put a little bit somewhere else. So I'm excited. This is good stuff. Val impurity skills. Okay, let's see. These skills have been changed to grant maximum elemental resistance instead of less damage taken. Okay. This is mostly to prevent clever use of game mechanics with standard items that could completely prevent taking certain types of damage. Worth noting that this is something that happened in League as well. You saw people using Supreme Ego. They said auras from your skills have more effect on you. You can only have one permanent aura on you from your skills, but these were not permanent. They were impermanent, so you saw some kind of abuse cases of this popping up during Harvest League as well. So this is good. Curious to see how this changes anything. Yeah, I mean, this is heavily used for like party play and like group MF and stuff, and like pushing deep delve. But I think for many of the people in chat, this is gonna be like basically no change. It's a good thing to keep in mind: maximum elemental resistance instead of less damage taken. Remember, less damage taken is not as strong, not as strong as reduced damage taken. More is the opposite of less. Increased is the opposite of reduced. But remember, when you're trying to make numbers small, you want reduced instead. Ailment effect. Let's see this. We've changed some ailment modifying stats like chill effect, shock effect, chill duration, freeze duration to instead apply to all cold and lightning ailments. Oh, yeah, deal. That's awesome. To allow them to affect the alternate elemental ailments, sap and brittle. This affects some unique items, some passives, and some other item modifiers. That's really cool, right? I like it. Yeah, great. So now you can scale your sap, you can scale your brittle if that's something you're into. Very cool. This is something, this projectile behavior ordering. We know that in the past, there's an order of operations, right? Order of operations for how your projectiles behave. Pierce always comes first, and then blah, 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 blah. So this is going to be different now. We've changed the order. We've changed the order that projectiles will perform special behaviors so that splitting now occurs first, followed by pierce. So split, pierce, fork, chaining, and then returning to you. For specific mechanics that have chances to occur or to not occur, you'll now be able to fall back on another behavior the projectile has. Previously, if a projectile had a chain remaining, the skill couldn't return unless it had chained the last time, even if there are no more enemies in range to chain to it. Now, the projectile will return and could still make use of the remaining chain if it hits an enemy during that return. Somebody in chat's really excited about this. So it'll still return to you if it has a chain left, and then if it hits something while it's returning to you, it'll keep chaining. Cool. It's not really for me. For like my personal impact from this would be one of the new skills that was introduced, that is going to be introduced during Heist League. It's called Splitting Steel. I think that looks cool. I've never played Spectral Shield Throw. Maybe I'll play that at some point. So maybe this will impact me. But for people who like Fury Valve, sure, go have some fun with this. Spectral Throw. Oh wow, hey. So Spectral Throw used to not matter at all because it always pierced, and because it always pierced and pierce came in the beginning of the order of operations, it never could do anything else. So now that Spectral Throw, it always pierces, but pierce comes after split, you could split Spectral Throw. I guess. Spectral Throw is like weird in that it's not very good, but I guess you could do that. Yeah, all right. Split Frostbolt. Maybe none of these things will happen. Maybe this is all like moot point and they're gonna be like, well, it doesn't work for this and it doesn't work for this. Oh, hello, Clover. Did your mom yell at you too? Okay, kitty cat. Yes, wait, split freezing pulse? Split freezing pulse. Maybe. Listen, chat, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, all those things that like always pierce. We shall see. Would the shards return? I don't know. Okay, this is interesting to think about. Maybe there's some builds that we need to try out, Chad. Let's keep going here. Reduced visibility and stealth. Sources of reduced... Oh man, I guess we're playing Heist League, huh? Sources of reduced visibility have been changed to stealth instead. Previously, reaching 100% reduced visibility would make you unable to be detected by any enemy. While now, in the future, 100% stealth will have the range that monsters detect you at, while 200% stealth will reduce it to 1/3 of their standard range. So if you pop phase run and you run through enemies, they'll still detect you, right? But if you pop phase run and run slightly farther away from enemies, I guess they're not going to see you. So we're role playing. Done. Values of stealth, which was previously called reduced visibility, have been adjusted to compensate for this. So if you're popping phase run and running through enemies, they're going to aggro to you. Yeah, F for darkness farmers. I think that's the right way to put this here. Okay. Changes to modifiers which provide flat life regeneration. Flat life regen mods provide a substantial amount of defensive power at low levels. They do. But their values are notoriously garbage for endgame play. These values of many of the mods which provide flat life regeneration have been increased by as much as 100%, doubling them, making them mods that are more competitive with percentage-based life regeneration at higher levels. Life regen mods also roll slightly less commonly on items. God bless. All right. We don't have harvest crafting anymore, but we do have exalts are less likely to hit life regen. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I guess so. You know, there's a belt modifier that you can craft at like level 20 or something, I think. And it's a veiled mod that comes from Betrayal, and it says like recover 120 energy shield per second whenever there's a unique enemy or like a rare unique enemy nearby. It's like a really wordy line of text, but you can craft it on a belt. Let me tell you, that belt mod, it's really, really good for leveling. Like, you can't die. It's like having a juiced up life flask running all the time whenever there's a rare unique enemy standing nearby. Holy crap. But, all right, sure. So flat life regeneration exists. They're going to buff it. They want it to be something that you consider for endgame content. That's cool. Changes to the mod tag system. This looks beefy. Look at this. This is like sorry about harvest. Here's what you get. Ah, you ready? You ready, chat? Hey, Fido, what's going on? I have a feeling they showed us the tiny nerfs, so don't get upset when they drop the bomb on us tomorrow. We'll see. All right. This is sorry about Harvest League. Sorry about allowing you to have fun. Now we're going to bring you back to the real world, but this is what you get in exchange for it. So let's see. During Harvest League, we let you craft perfect items. No, we added the ability to view the tags of mods by holding Alt, by using the advanced mod descriptions in the options setting. However, further changes to the mod tagging system were required in order to support displaying tags in the long term. We have standardized existing systems that use mod tags to use the same set of tags, applied a simpler and more consistent philosophy to categorizing which mod should receive a tag, and we've also made changes to fossils. Ooh. The primary goal of these changes is to make the effects of crafting functions that rely on the mod tags more clear and to make them more predictable. So their goal here is less hidden information, less I need to go research this and hope that I don't waste my money, and more it is what it says it is. So we'll see with this. I need to clarify this before we continue here. We're in the second paragraph. We're about to start the third paragraph. For the past like 20 minutes, Pearl and Clover have been yelling at each other in the other room. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a like all out fight going on with Pearl and the cat. They're just yelling at each other in the background. All right, paragraph number 3. Let's do it. From 3.12.0 onwards, so from Heist onward, the tags displayed when holding Alt, which were previously used for fossil and harvest crafting, will also be used by catalysts. They will also be used by cannot roll attack mods, cannot roll caster mods. So that is what these mods now mean. Give me the cat. Give me the cat. Give me the cat. You're a good little kitty cat. Come here. All right. The new enchantments available in Heist will also use these tags. Cool. As will all future uses of the mod tag system. Mod tags will also be displayed on unique item mods. Cool. So that'll help like know which ones are going to be buffed when you're catalyzing something. New tags have been added to support this merger. These are ailment, attribute, curse, damage, gem, and resistance. That's cool. The changes made to the systems which use mod tags are as follows. Turbulent catalysts will affect mods with both elemental and damage tags. Okay. Good cat. Corroded fossils down here. Corroded fossils and prismatic fossils now affect mods with both physical and ailment, or chaos and ailment tags, rather than the bleeding and the poison tags. The bleeding and poison tags are no longer used. So fizz ailment, chaos ailment. That's where bleeding and poison went. Faceted fossils will now use the gem tag, which has been applied to all mods that directly affect gems. So plus level of gems, for example. And the gem level tag is no longer used. So it's only the gem tag. This opens up new uses for faceted fossils while minimally impacting their existing functions. That's good. Bound fossils will also increase the likelihood of rolling curse mods in order to expand their range of uses. Okay, so bound used to be effective auras on you and minion stuff, right? But now bound also includes curse things. Prismatic fossils no longer separately affect the weightings of fire, lightning, cold, as these mods are now always also tagged as the word elemental. The same is true for jagged fossils and bleeding mods, and aberrant fossils with poison mods. These aren't functional changes. This is not going to change the weighting of anything, but they provide greater clarity as fossils no longer have effects that aren't explicitly described. So all fossils, the outcome of this, unless you and I can find some like side niche cases there, the outcome should be that everything that you expect a fossil to do is described on the item and is encased in those tags that show up when you hold down Alt. The cannot roll attack mods and cannot roll caster metacrafts now simply use attack and caster tags. Okay. Finally, the rationale used to tag mods has been simplified and all existing mod tags reviewed for consistency. Good. In order to allow players to reasonably infer what tags a mod might have, even without viewing them directly. So these things should be intuitive. That's the goal here. In summary, tags are now only used to, tags are now only added to mods, which specifically and directly affect the subject of the tag. Some of the main implications are these three things. Okay, I like it so far. Number one, conditional mods do not receive tags based on the condition. For example, a mod that grants damage on full life does not receive the life tag. Good. A mod that grants attack speed if you dealt the crit recently does not receive the crit tag. Woo! Look at that. Oh, shit. A mod that grants tailwind when you've crit recently no longer has the crit tag. A mod that grants a power charge on crit would receive the crit tag because crits are power chargey things. Okay, good. I like that. Any tag, this is number two. Any tag that is necessarily a subset of another tag will receive both tags. Currently, this means that fire, lightning, cold all count as elemental. This isn't a functional change to prismatic fossils. This is not a functional change. As mentioned above, they also used those tags in the past without explicitly describing this. A related concept is that all bleed related mods also receive the attack tag as well as fizz, and ailment. So anything that's bleed is fizz, attack, and ailment, since bleed can only be applied by attacks. Okay, I like it. So this is like a family grouping is going on there. So here's change number 3. Mods granting skills or keyworded buffs do not grant tags matching the stats of those skills or buffs. I'm lost. Previously, it was very inconsistent whether these tags were granted, but a more minimalist approach was chosen in order to prevent many mods which grant buffs from requiring an enormous number of tags. Mods granting notable or passive... Wait. Mods granting notable or keystone passives do not grant tags matching the stats of those skills. While this is inconsistent with our approach, buffs and skills, it was judged necessary for the sake of oh wait, got it. Cluster jewels. I was like, what the hell are we talking about? Cluster jewels. Got it. Okay. Mods granting a notable or a keystone do not wait. Mods granting notables or keystone passives do grant tags matching the stats of those passive skills. I think I said this incorrectly. I think I read this backwards. I'm going to read it again. Mods granting a notable or keystone passive, they do grant the tags matching passive skill. Got it. So this is specifically for cluster jewel. I'm gonna reread this real quick. You're not missing. Okay. Yeah, we're good. I think I read this backward out loud, but I wanted to make sure that I read it correctly. Too cheap for tailwind crafting. I mean, you can't just like crit slam something now, right? Crit slamming something is no longer a thing for boots. Toxic rain will survive. Excellent. Gary, welcome back. Cool. This is good. This is like GGG wants to make the system more intuitive. They want it to be less hidden information and more intuitive information. They want it to make sense. They want to be consistent. This is good. Okay, sure. Thousands of individual changes have been made on the mod tags. So to assist and with understanding the implications for item crafting, we've prepared a full list of the modifiers which can roll on items in their tags. Click here. Great. It must be stressed that most crafting methods are not significantly affected by these changes, but specific methods for crafting items with certain combinations of mods might be impacted, and you will undoubtedly be able to find new methods with a little investment. Cool. Yeah, this is sweet. Good. The fear of wasting an exalt because these stupid mod systems don't make sense and everything's got the wrong tag. Hopefully that is mitigated. If they can be successful in that, I think they've done a great job.